Peace and blessings. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome tonight to the Community Program Showcase for the Baltimore Children Youth Fund. My name is Adam Jackson. I'm a part of the Community Engagement Team for the Baltimore Children Youth Fund. Thank you for joining the stream this evening. If this is your first time seeing any of our public programs for BCYF, first off, welcome. And if you are unfamiliar with BCYF / Baltimore Children Youth Fund, BCYF is actually a fund, a non-lapsing fund created in 2016 that could focus on the needs and well-being of Baltimore City youth. And so tonight we have a special program in store for you. We're going to be hearing from local grassroots community organizations talking about their programming and all the work that they're doing here in Baltimore City. And the goal of tonight's program is not just for the folks to talk at you. We want you to enroll your young people in these programs. And so just a couple of housekeeping notes before we get started. If you notice across your screen, there's a couple of banners. And so while our presenters tonight are speaking, you'll be able to see the name of their program, and scrolling across the bottom will change that. For each speaker, it will have their website, social media, and phone number in case you want to contact them. And so in case someone doesn't get to that during their remarks tonight, you'll always have it up on the screen. And also just want to remind you, if you want to see any of the work that the Baltimore Children Youth Fund has been doing over the past few years, you can just go to www.bcyfund.org. You can also find us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at BCYFund, okay? And so we want to make sure we're mindful of people's time, so we're going to just jump right into it. And again, this is the purpose of tonight's program is not just for people to talk to you about the work that they're doing, but it's also for you to just be aware so you can get your young person involved. So enrollment is the purpose of tonight's conversation. If you have a young person, if you don't have a child yourself, but you know a young person that could use some of these resources, or any families that could use any of these resources, I highly encourage that you share this broadcast on your social media. If you're watching on Facebook or Periscope, please share this broadcast, because we're sharing a lot of information tonight from 5 different stellar organizations that could not only use your support, but is also looking to support Baltimore City youth and young adults. Okay? All right. So first, we're going to get started with Baltimore Clayworks. Miss Nicole Fall from Baltimore Clayworks. I'm going to bring her on the screen. Hey, Nicole. I think you might be on mute. Are you on mute? I'm not sure. Oh.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Good. So I work with Baltimore Clayworks. I'm the community arts manager, but I'm a longtime artist and teacher. And I'm going to show you tonight a little bit about our programs. And certainly, if you have a group of people that you're working with, youth that you're working with, and you want us to come in and do some clay with them, certainly contact me, and I'll be very happy to talk to you. So I'm going to load now. Let's see.
We're still boxing with all these online platforms, trying to figure out how to use it.
Yeah, I don't see my PowerPoint. Hold on.
Oh, wait, no, I have it. I have it right here. Here you go.
Okay, great.
All right. I'm going to
start. Okay, there we go. Are you going to share it? Or will
I just did, but I think you had it shared, but try to reshare it again. Try to share your screen again. I just have to add it.
There we go. I hit share again.
As soon as it pops up, I will pull it up.
Thank you.
No problem. Let me see. I don't see it. Are you sure you shared it?
Well, I mean, I'm hitting share. It's my entire screen, or the application window, or the Chrome tab. Let's see. Here we go. I found it. Thank you. Great.
There we go.
Let me get to slideshow. Okay, great. Thank you. So we're located, Baltimore Clayworks has been around for 40 years, and we offer clay classes at our site, but we also do a lot of work out in the community, and we offer clay classes and other kinds of art classes at wherever other people would like us to come. So just, oops, sorry. I just unshared. Hold on.
No worries.
Sorry.
There we go.
All right. So classes that you can find at Clayworks, we have summer camp and we offer scholarships. And then down in the middle picture, we offer programs for youth and adults with disabilities. And there's a picture of the ARC with our teacher, Mia Halton. And then we also do one-time workshops at Clayworks where you can bring your group. And here is Unified Efforts with the artist Sam Wallace, who's kneeling in the background. And we offer a number of programs. So one of the programs that we started was a program called Baltimore Clay Workforce Development. And we did it in partnership with the Baltimore City Schools Baltimore Transition Connections. And this is for students with disabilities, usually developmental disabilities or autism. And it was, we started it about 2 years ago, and the students come to Clayworks and they learn how to make things out of clay, but they also learn studio management. They learn how to work as a team. So they're learning skills that you would use in any job. I mean, most of these starting up jobs. And a couple of the students did internships with us in summer 2019. Of course, COVID happened this year, and so classes ended in March. And now that everyone's gotten used to learning online, we've just started up again with them online. And so online virtual classes, the pictures never look as good because you're taking screenshots. But we have our online classes, and you'll see on the far left is our teaching artist, Salah Jenkins. She's a wonderful artist, and she's been working in Baltimore for years and has done workshops at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum and the Sankofa Children's Museum of African Cultures. So you'll see there's a student in the middle picture, and on the right, there are some students work at the end of their class. Here's another virtual class. The teacher is in the red shirt in the first row, and everybody's smiling in this picture, which is kind of nice. We do public art projects. So if you have a group and let's say you're at a school or you are located at a permanent place where we could do an artwork that would be up permanently, that's something we could do. You could also ask me if you have a child who'd be interested in that kind of thing. You can ask me about it. We have been participating with Park Heights Renaissance along with Youthworks to pay students to participate in making mosaic tile projects. So this is the one from 2019. The teacher artist is Herb Massey on the far right in the pink shirt. And they did this mosaic tile mural, and it's in Shirley Avenue Park. And it says there's hope in the Heights. And it's in the Park Heights neighborhood, of course. So that was the year where you didn't have to wear masks and everything else. This year, we did another work for Shirley Avenue Park, and so we had to start online. It ended up being a hybrid course, and we got it to really work. And so you'll see here in this image, Herb Massey is demonstrating to the students how they're going to do something, and he has a two camera setup, so you can see him from different angles. And so we deliver, this is what we do if we work with you. We deliver clay kits and then to your site, and then you can arrange to have the parents and the children pick up the art kits. And then we get back online on a specific date and time, and we have the art class. So this was a hybrid class, and things were looking up in terms of COVID, that we all thought it would be under control and everything. So during the summer, they came to Clayworks. On the far left, there's everybody in the group, and they all glazed their work over there, put color on it, and so they could be fired again in the kiln. And then in the middle, you'll see this is one of the mosaics that they did, that one of the students did. And on the right, we also went to Park Heights Renaissance to adhere everything, glue everything down, and put grout on it so it would be finished. Here are a couple of examples. And they were taking, so in the morning they would take a chess class. And so a lot of the work is based on chess and, you know, and all these ideas about Black Power and Black Lives Matter. Here are the students posing with their work. And on the left is the work installed. So it's permanently glued onto the wall that's in the park. And over to the right, which we don't see, is the project from last year, which is the Hope in the Heights mural. So, and the kids got really close. They got to know each other really well, and they live all over the city. So it was a really neat experience for them. They got close to their teacher too. The teacher is in the middle of that picture with the white shorts in the background, Herb Massey. Here's some of the people the sites that we've worked with. House of Ruth, Evening Reporting Center, Village Learning Place, Youth Resiliency Institute, Sankofa Children's Museum of African Cultures, Casa of Maryland, Baltimore City Public Schools, and Park Heights Renaissance. So we really, you know, we're very happy to work with whoever's interested. And oh, hold on one second. And I don't know how much time we have. There is a quick little video. We'll see if it's just a few seconds. So I'd like to thank you all for your time. And certainly let me know if you have any questions. And I'll be happy to talk to you and we can plan something. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole. So just so people know, I'm going to be asking everybody this tonight. So everybody should get prepared to answer at the end. But enrollment. So someone has watched your presentation tonight. We have your contact information on the screen. But what's the best way to get their young person enrolled in Baltimore Clayworks programs?
So they can, the parents can call or text me, and then I can call them back and talk to them about the different programs where they might be able to fit in. And also if they know, if there's a place that they already go, like if they already go to a rec center to do school, you know, I could arrange to do something there. So yeah, just call me, text me, email me, and I'll be happy to talk about it further.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you, Nicole. Hope you stick around to the end, just in case folks have questions for you. But thank you again for your presentation tonight about Baltimore Clayworks. We'll see you in a little bit.
Yep.
All right. All right, folks. So moving right along, we're going to bring up Kanika. Is it Kanika Walker? Hold on. Is that your last name?
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bring up Kanika right now from Cups Coffeehouse. Now, is it Project I Can, Kanika? That's the name of Cups' program, right?
Yeah,
cool.
It's definitely Project I Can.
Got it. Let me see if I can get Javon.
Yep.
Hey, Javon, can you hear us? Maybe I have some technical difficulties. I'll see if I can get him back on a little bit, but we can just roll right into Project I Can.
Okay, I am going to share my little screen here. This one. All right, are we good? Can everyone see that?
It says it's loading right now on my screen. Let's see if we can. Is it already up on your screen? Oh, there you go. You got it.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Sounds great. So my name is Kanika Walker, and I am one of the co-owners at Cups Coffeehouse. and I am the youth services specialist for Project I Can. So everybody's like, what is Project I Can? What is CUPS Coffeehouse? CUPS stands for Creating Unlimited Possibilities. We run the 1-year-long workforce development program called Project I Can. The 3 most important things are right on the front there. We are women-owned, we are Black-owned, and we are also youth-led. So youth really make all our decisions at Project I Can. So Project I Can re-engages disconnected Baltimore City youth between the ages of 16 to 24 in a year-long youth development and work readiness program hosted directly inside of CUPS Coffeehouse. Our program includes real-world work experience, enrichment classes, community service projects, and comprehensive case management with me. Youth will develop short and long-term goals, professional and leadership skills, and a sense of self-efficacy that will prepare them for future education and employment, also reducing their risk for long-term poverty. What are the requirements to hang out with us? So it's really important for us to meet youth where they are. So it is not necessary for youth to have a GED. My real requirement is that they are ready to invest in themselves, because a program like Project I Can does not work unless you're ready to work for it. I can present you all of these opportunities, but you gotta meet me halfway. So we hire youth between the ages of 16 and 24. We offer enrichment classes that happen twice a month. Things definitely look a little different this year with COVID, but one of our most fun virtual classes to date was an online cooking class. So that was pretty fun. We're finding new ways to stay engaged. And then all the youth who come through the program meet once a week with me, so we can identify some barriers that might be hindering you from employment. We set up goals that you want to achieve during your year there, whether personal or professional. Every year we take on 20 youth, so 10 in the wintertime and 10 in the spring. Right now we are still currently enrolling. Our youth gains hands-on experience while working inside of the coffee house. You receive 3 certifications: your food manager certification, which you have for 5 years, your food handler certification, which you have for 2 years, and your CPR certification, which you have for 2 years as well. Inside of the program, when you're about 6 months in, there's also an opportunity for you to receive a promotion and a raise, but that definitely comes with a little bit more responsibility. Let's see. One of our new favorite things that we've added in the past 2 years is the free on-site therapist. We have 2 therapists who come directly to the coffee house to meet with our youth during their shifts, just to kind of check in with them, see where they are mentally, just be that soundboard. We always encourage people to go to the doctors and get physical checkups. So we want to make sure we tell our youth that it's okay to get mental checkups. It's really important for them to see that, especially within the Black community. On the right, that is a photo that our youth actually painted on the side of a building on Baltimore and Curry Street. Our youth asked people in the community what would they like to see, what does their neighborhood mean to them, and this is what they came up with. This painting is still on Baltimore and Curry Street, so just check it out when you have a chance. Let me see. So just some quick highlights. Our youth definitely lost a lot this year with COVID, but we still have some 2 top youth who graduated with 3.0s or better this year and with scholarships for college. It's important for us to give back to the community that we're in. So we did free snowballs for the community in the summertime when everything was happening with COVID. Just did some free things to give back and for our youth to have an opportunity to express themselves and how they've been feeling all around the different things with systematic racism. And we just wanted to give them a safe place to express themselves. I don't know what's going on with Javon's camera, but I'll just read a brief quote from one of our interns. You heard about Project I Can from previous interns and on Instagram. Ever since I've been in PIC, it's been like a big family. This is my second family away from home. I enjoy serving my community and, of course, making sandwiches and coffees. So recruitment looked a little different this year. I was in a lot of Instagram feeds and in a lot of Zoom rooms. So it definitely looked a little different, but we were still able to recruit 15 youth. So a final update was just that question that Adam is going to ask. We do have 5 spots available. We're looking for youth right now who can currently work between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. We're open Tuesday through Friday, and between 10 and 4, and Saturday and Sunday between 9 and 3. So if you know youth who could fulfill those time slots, just shoot me an email. My email address is kanika@cupscoffeehouse.org. Right now with COVID, as I mentioned before, we had to switch things up a little bit. So right now we're in a hybrid model. Half of our interns are working directly in the coffee house 1 week, and the other half will do virtual work, helping with administrative tasks, making those cold phone calls to ask for donations, because we all need a little bit of extra love right now. And every other week they switch. So we're trying to keep them engaged and excited and paid. So if you have any questions, just shoot me an email at kanika@cupscoffeehouse.org.
All right, so we were able to get Javon in the building. I think we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we got him in here. How you doing, brother Javon?
Okay. We can't hear you.
Yeah, I think we can hear you now, Javon.
I'm good.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
Any last words you want to say about PIC? Any feedback on how crazy we are?
Basically, what I got to say is like, this is my 3rd time being in this program due to my own reasons. So I had to I had to come back and try and do what I had to do to get back on the right path. And I'm trying to do that now. So that's why I came back to Project I Can in Cups.
Thank you for sharing.
Cool. I appreciate you, Javon. So, if you're just tuning in, this is Cups Coffeehouse presenting on their program Project I Can. This is Kanika Walker. Her email is Kanika, KENIKA @cupscoffeehouse.org. Phone number is 443-722-7267. Feel free now. You said reach out to you directly if they want to be enrolled in I Can.
Yes, because they got to make it through me first. I do the original intake. I definitely do appreciate a good pop-up. That's probably the best way to catch me. I do check my emails, but popping up at the coffee house at 3216 Bel Air Road is definitely the best way to reach me.
And that's the location on Bel Air Road.
Yep, 3216.
3216 Bel Air Road. Okay, I got to stop by there soon to get some coffee. As a matter of fact, we have a couple people. We have a couple folks on here. I don't know if you saw the comments, but we have Margaret Shorter. She was saying she loved Cups great coffee when she stops by. We also have Miss Julie Brooks. She said yes, great coffee and service. She loves the lattes. Shout out to you, Julie. We also have Mary Alexander saying the coffee is bomb.com. See, you can't be talking that positive about coffee and I ain't had a sip. I gotta drop by.
Let me tell you, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be a little shady for a minute, but we can do everything Starbucks can do, but better, because our drinks are made with love. So there's that.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. We in there. We also got Heather on deck. Heather Pearson says she loves Cups too. Y'all must have a real strong following. Yeah.
Yes. The Ryan Institute, yeah, they know about us. They hang out in Cups too. So it's awesome. Thank you all for the love. We really, really appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Kanika and Javon. We're going to bring you back on a little bit if we have any questions from folks who are watching. But thank you for the presentation, and thanks for getting in, Javon. Even though we have some technical difficulties, brother, but we appreciate you for being here. All right, folks. So we are going to move to our next grantee, I got to stop by Cups. I've been meaning to go to get coffee from them for years, but I've never gotten a chance to. Appreciate them for coming through tonight to present. So up next, we have Miss Kim from Fearlessly Loving Yourself. How you doing, Kim?
Hi. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay.
And for folks who are just tuning in, if you're just hopping on the live stream, again, this is the Baltimore Children and Youth Fund Community Program Showcase. We are showcasing grassroots and local organizations who have programs focused on youth and young adults here in Baltimore City. The name of the game is enrollment. So if you have a young person that wants to get enrolled in a program that, hey, you need some extracurricular activities, they're going stir crazy, they need something productive, exciting, and world-class to engage in, enroll them in a program here tonight. So I'm gonna add your presentation, Kim, and you can take it away.
All right. So my name is Kimberly Sauer, and I'm one of the co-founders of Fearlessly Loving Yourself. Rashida Brockington is our other co-founder. She couldn't be here tonight, but let me go to the next. Go to the next slide. Okay. So this is our mission. We were established in 2018. We are really lucky to be one of the BCYF new program initiatives, and we are very thankful to have that investment from BCYF. So we are a youth mentor program, and we have two different types of programming. So we have our weekly program, which is for our girls 7 to 13. This is every Tuesday evening. We typically cover a different topic or do a building topic each week with our girls. And then we also have for our older girls drop-in nights. So these happen once monthly, and again, we focus on a new topic and a new opportunity. With our weekly programming, we do offer one-on-one support, group mentoring, and we help all of our youth engage in peer-to-peer mentoring. So these are some topics that we cover in both our weekly program and our drop-in night. And one that I really want to highlight is previously, before COVID, every session, which we have 3 sessions each year, a spring session, summer session, and winter session, we highlight a day of service. And this is really a community give back day for our youth. And last summer, I'm sorry, not this past summer, but the summer before COVID, our youth decided that they wanted to put together hydration kits for homeless in Baltimore City. And so we put together over 100 kits that included water, snacks, hygiene products, and handed them out across the city. One of the things we love to see is our youth actually create and come up with the day of service. So they figure out what they want to do to give back to their community, and we help facilitate and execute their idea and plan. Recently, we did a needs assessment with our families, and we found that parents wanted to have a group as well. So one of the things that we're going to do starting 2021, is put together a quarterly parent group. So we'll meet 4 times a year, and we'll do different things. So whether it's a support group where we bring in a therapist or a clinician to help facilitate, or we do a poetry slam or paint night, but really engaging the families as a whole. And we realized this because we started to do every session help facilitate families to have a family night with games and dinner, and bring the family together. And particularly during COVID, we found that there were major stresses that were preventing families to come together and do things that they used to do previously. And so we really wanted to help facilitate that within our enrolled youth and all of their families. So because of COVID, we have had to switch virtual. Like most programs, we're hoping that this will change once we start to get back to normalcy after the vaccine starts to get administered. But for right now, the way that our virtual program works is with our weekly programming, each week the girls are given a topic box, and this includes all the materials that they need to participate in the topic that will be presented on that Tuesday. And then the same with our drop-in night. So once a month, the girls get their pack dropped off. So for example, last week we did a paint night with our younger girls, and all of the canvases and the paint and everything was dropped off to their house prior to the event. One thing I do want to highlight that we've been really fortunate through the fund as well as other donations to be able to provide each one of our enrolled youth with their own tablet that is fully set up so that they can engage with us every Tuesday. We're still trying to navigate this new system, so we obviously have, like most programs that have gone virtual, other environmental barriers that we're still trying to overcome. But for the most part, our virtual learning has been pretty successful. We have regular attendance from our youth as well as new enrolled youth. And one thing that I do want to highlight is previously we were very heavily focused on youth in the Southwestern district, but because of virtual learning and not needing transportation, we've been able to open it up to the entire city. So keeping in mind, if you have a youth who would really benefit from Fly's program, we now do not have a smaller jurisdiction to work with because transportation is not an issue right now. So we're currently recruiting for our spring 2021 session. If you would like to refer a youth or enroll, please visit our website, and there is a Google form link on our website that you can click to complete the registration, and we will reach out to you, or you can text the number below that's been scrolling, and I can send you via text message the Google form. Our next session begins February 8th and runs through May. And our next drop-in night is January 21st. And with our drop-in night, I do want to highlight that we have a refer a friend incentive program. So once youth attends their first drop-in night, for every friend that they refer and attends their first drop-in night, they get a $10 gift card to Amazon to help do a lot of peer-to-peer referrals. And again, we are a completely free program for youth who are enrolled. And our weekly program, we do have a cap of 15 youth, but our drop-in nights, we do not have a cap. So the sooner you enroll, the sooner you can reserve your space for our spring 2021 session. So this is just our contact information. I encourage you to sign up for our newsletter. We send out monthly newsletters to all of our followers. And if you're interested in becoming a partner, please visit our website. We have a whole page dedicated to our amazing partners that help support us and make us successful. And, you know, I think that partnership is what makes us such a successful program. So that is all I have.
Awesome. All right, thank you, Kim. So a quick question for you. So I know you said for folks who want to sign up, they should go to the website. But for folks who may be unfamiliar, what is the target audience, the young person, the ideal young person that you're looking for, who will be looking for a program like yours?
Yeah, so it's right now our jurisdiction is all of Baltimore City, and it's girls for our weekly program, it's girls between the ages of 7 and 13, and then for our monthly drop-in night, it's ages 14 to 18 years old.
Got it. Okay. All right. And so Kim Sauer, ladies and gentlemen, reach her at 410-790-2421 to talk about fearlessly loving yourself. Also, Miss Rashida Brockington, you can contact her as well at 443-845-3324. And as always, you can email at baltimore.fly@gmail.com. I love those handles, Baltimore Fly. I got it. Y'all stole those for me before I could make a social media profile for myself. I will appreciate you, Kim, for being on tonight. We're going to bring you back in a second, but thank you so much for presenting about fearlessly loving yourself. We're going to be back on a little bit, but see you in a little bit, Kim. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just a quick reminder, if you are someone who is very interested in any of the programs you've heard about tonight, if you have questions about enrollment, anything related to these programs, get in the chat box. You know, y'all need to light up that chat box. If you have any questions about, well, how do I get my kid enrolled tonight? How do I reach out to these programs? You know, feel free to comment in the chat box, and at the very end, we'll try to field all of your questions. So don't be shy. Get up in the chat box, add any questions that you may have. All right? All right. So up next, we have the Ryan Institute. Okay, let's see. We have the Ryan Institute. Boom. Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, how's it going, Adam?
Good evening.
Good. So I'm gonna let y'all run. Y'all have a presentation tonight?
Yes.
Okay, just share it and I'll pull up on the screen for y'all. I looked through some of the photographs of y'all programming for the year. It looks fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I got a couple emails. Y'all are real active on social media. Every once in a while, I'll get a DM like the Ryan Institute said, "Oh, okay, hey, I didn't really was following." Yeah, let's see if I can find y'all down here. There we go. All right, I'm gonna hop off the screen and let y'all go at it.
My name is Marquise Manning. I'm from Gardenville Elementary School. I'm in the 5th grade, going to 6th. I was a part of the Boys to Men Ryan Institute conference, and today I learned about different things, learned about conflicts, how to handle them, how to tie a tie, talked about many stuff, learning how to be a man, becoming a better person.
So good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing us to share a little bit about the Ryan Institute. So the Ryan Institute, we are a full-service academic support company. And so we focus on providing one-on-one, small group, large group, academic tutoring, as well as test prep, professional development, and additional enrichment programming opportunities for our students and families in and around Baltimore City and across the state. A little bit about my wife and I. My wife, she is born and raised in Sacramento, California. She came to Baltimore to attend Morgan State University, and that's where we met at Morgan. And so my wife, she has over 14 years of experience teaching within Baltimore City public schools, as well as Washington, D.C. public schools and private schools in Baltimore. And so, over her career, in particular, when she started teaching in Baltimore City, she started at Tench Tillman Elementary School. And so Tench Tillman being a Title I school and being in the area that is, or at one point in time was kind of considered to be a lower income area, we realized that there was a lot of needs for the students, just to kind of get to the next level of their academic career. And so because of her passion, and then you kind of combine that with the fact that I'm born and raised in Baltimore, proud alumni of Poly, and then also going to Morgan, we realized that, many of our students, they have tremendous potential. And for many of them, they just need just an added resource, and some additional support just to kind of get them, to the next level. And so that's really the goal of the Ryan Institute. What we try to focus on is trying to be that extension to their village that's helping to raise our young people. And so with that being said, we are very intentional about how we are providing services to our youth and to our families. And so again, I like to focus on the academic piece a lot because I honestly feel as though being in Baltimore, I was very fortunate enough to do well in school, where I was able to go from a high school diploma to a PhD in engineering. And it was only because I did really well in my academics. And so that's why I'm very intentional about helping students academically achieve their goals.
All right, so our program that we run with the BCY, as a first-year BCYF grantee, we run our Jewels and Gems Civic Leadership Club, which is offered to scholars throughout Baltimore City. Our program helps the youth with their overall well-being, resiliency, community healing. We integrate our programming in arts-based programs. So we have a dance team, a STEP team. We offer community cleanups, clinics. We have a spring break academy that we host on the campus of Morgan State University. We do our Boys to Men Leadership Conference, as well as our Sassy Afternoon Tea. In fact, we have our Boys to Men Leadership Conference happening this Saturday. Registration is closed for that event already, but we are hosting our Boys to Men Conference, which is the Young Man Marquise was a participant in. So we'll be having that happening this Saturday. We help to raise the scholars' awareness of violence reduction, bullying prevention, gang intervention, how to engage properly with police officers, resolving conflict, just all things, financial literacy, yes, all things that are going to help them be amazing citizens as they grow up through life. Here are some photos of some of the programs that we've done. Some of our mentorships, some of our clinics. Literally, we run from east to west. We've done things in South Baltimore. We do things in our area, which is Northeast Baltimore. Literally, we want the kids to be able to see all of Baltimore, not just their immediate community. We have here is where the young men are engaging and learning how to dress for success. They're learning how to dress for an interview, getting experience with different fabrics and different patterns and understanding what is appropriate. The young lady on the right is Courtney. She's actually being featured in a rendition of Hamilton with a local studio. This right now they're doing a production of Hamilton. Some of the things that we've been able to do over the last years we served hundreds of children with the support of BCYF funds and have continued to capacity build our company so that we can self-sustain some of the things that we have set forth for the children and the youth that we serve. We've worked with a lot of community partners, supporters, lots of other BCYF awardees. We believe in the power of collaboration and working together for the greater good of our youth, children and youth. And here's some feedback from our families.
My name is Kia. This is Doral. We are part of the first class for Step 101 here at BIA. He joined STEP not knowing what he was signing up for. When he came into his first couple of classes, he came to me, Mom, I don't want to do this. It's hard. They're loud. She's fussing. I got to touch people. He earned the name Oscar for Oscar the Grouch because of his attitude. He would come in, he would pout, stand around, to Miss Tony had to pull him in line gently. He now is to the point he's ecstatic. He's YouTubing different STEP programs or STEP videos that he can watch. We had a competition up at Coppin. He recorded most of the show himself. He's at home practicing the steps that he saw on his recording. So he's going to join again next year. Hopefully his name will get changed. I don't think so. I like Oscar because he's a whole clown. Right? No. It is, the program has brought together the group as one. They look out for each other in STEP, outside of STEP. They signed a contract where they now know that they are committed to this by signing it, which was an awesome idea because my son doesn't follow through with anything. He thinks, okay, I'm gonna do it. Then he don't like it. He want to walk away. This has been an opportunity for him to understand, okay, you signed this contract, meaning you're buying to it until the end. He now gets that concept, which helps me not have to explain it later on. So going forward, with this group, I have seen that it's made a difference in not only my child, but everyone in the group. Right now, we have maybe 12 of them, different ages, different languages here at BIA, and they've come together as one unit to make this program a huge success, not only for BIA, but for the Ryan Institute as well, which I just found out today, they're now branching out to several other schools, which is going to make it even better going next year.
Here's some other testimonials from our families in terms of some of the academic support that we have been able to provide. Our ultimate goal is for the young people to get to college. Here you'll see some of our scholars that we worked with, recent graduates of class of 2020 and moving into class of 2021. This young man here, we just highlighted recently, Sean O'Neill. He's a senior at Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. He has received upwards of $213,000 in scholarship offerings for attending college. And as many of you know, college is not cheap. And so we encourage our youth to really go after the fundings that are available for them to attend college for free. Here's some of our other coaches for our STEP team, seniors at Baltimore Leadership School for Young Women, Jasmine. We have scholar Ariana Hawthorne Cox. She is a junior at Baltimore City College. She's also a recording artist and a professional dancer. She's currently serving on Mayor Scott's arts and culture transition team. And so, like I shared, our young people are doing amazing things, and we just want to support them in those efforts. Some of our upcoming opportunities: next Saturday, the 26th, we will be hosting our Kwanzaa in a Bag celebration. It is a free virtual celebration from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Registration is required. There's the registration link. It's a bit.ly link, bit.ly /R, capital R, capital I, Kwanzaa with the capital K, N, capital I, A, capital A, and bag, capital B. It is case sensitive, so you do need to you do need to enter it exactly as you see it here. In the spring of 2020, during Black History Month, we will be hosting a virtual fashion show. Pending COVID, we will be hosting our annual Spring Break Academy for our elementary scholars. Each year during spring break, we send our high school scholars we send several high school scholars to MTM Foundation's HBCU and Ivy League college tour. And we also host our free SAT prep sessions. The summer of 2020, we have summer of 2021. My apologies for that. We will have our Love Warriors Global Learning Series. That's our summer program for our elementary scholars. We'll have our SAT prep as well as our math boot camp. Our contact information is here, 443-502-0223. Our email is info@learnwithryan.com. If you are interested in enrolling your child, please complete our referral form here at www.learnwithryan.com /referral_form. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. We're available. And if you want to get enrolled in our newsletter, you can text Learn with Ryan, all with one word, to 22828. Thank you.
All right, appreciate y'all. So, matter of fact, let's see, we got some love in y'all on the comments here. We got Miss Mimi Thomas saying exciting program coming up for the Ryan Institute. Shout out to you, Mimi. We also have Kanika. She checked in for us. We love the Ryan Institute. They are truly committed to the youth. Thank you, Kanika. Of course, amazing. Hearts, of course. And we have Miss Mary Alexander with a yes on the end there. Okay, love it. And so I want to make sure that people have y'all contact information. So I'm gonna pull that up on the screen right now. Mr. Dante and Miss Antonika Ryan, info@learnwithryan.com. First off, I can tell you firsthand, if you send them a DM, if you tag them in a post, they will get back to you. Okay, they are all over the social media. You hear me? All right. All right, y'all. Well, appreciate you for the presentation. We're gonna bring y'all back up in a little bit, but thank y'all. All righty, so let's get in our last presentation for the evening, and then we're gonna move to questions again. In any of these programs that have been presented tonight. So please hit us in the comment section. If you have any questions about how to get your young person enrolled, highly encourage it. And I'm also going to have questions for our presenters at the end. So feel free to get in the comments, light it up, okay? All right, so we have our last presentation of the evening with the Milton Avenue Improvement Association. Jared, I'm saying that right, Jared? Oh, wait a minute. I think you might be muted, brother.
You got it perfect. You got it perfect.
And Mr. Kevin Graham, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm all right. You know, cold, but I'm all right. You know what I mean? Just trying to get used to this winter weather.
Hey, you need one of these hoodies right here.
Oh, okay.
You need one of these.
See me down. I need it.
I got you.
Yes, sir. All right. So Jared, you got your presentation up? You good to go?
Yes, I do.
All right. Would you want me to start off, Jared?
Yeah, I'll pull it up, and then we can toss it back and forth like Run DMC.
Okay. Well, I'm Kevin Graham, and I'm the president and founder of the Milton Avenue Improvement Association. A few years ago, we were founded to try to help clean up our community, and through cleaning our community, we began to network with other people that were doing similar jobs and had similar tasks going on, and it expanded us in other areas. Of course, we started meeting people from various arenas, and one of the ones that appealed to me, something that I've been involved with most of my life, was snapping snapshots and taking little pictures. So we had an opportunity to meet with Dr. Phyllis Berger from Johns Hopkins University's Visual Arts Department, who suggested that we write a grant or get a grant in place so that we could start a photography program. Well, we have, and this is our second year. This was of course, with COVID, this was a more challenging time than we had expected and that we were used to. But this year we overcame a few obstacles and we reached a few milestones. And I just want to touch on a couple, and then I'll give it to Jared. He's going to do somewhat of a photographic presentation. We got parents to engage in the workshops, and I'm reading this, so please bear with me. This was a first in being introduced to photography. This was a first in being introduced to photography for many of the parents. Having the parents involved made things much more exciting for the youth. Parents learned how to use the camera, and one of the parents offered her home as a location to meet. Parents prepared food and engaged with the youth. Under the constraints of COVID, finding comfortable space to connect has been difficult. This gave youth and parents an opportunity to come together once per week and have a shared and safe experience. Dr. Phyllis Berger, as I mentioned earlier, came in and gave our children some inspiration and brought with her some of her students from her class to work with the students in our program. She talked to our youth and told them how they could use their photography and how they could develop a career from it. The youth were truly inspired by her work and interaction with them. What I noticed from the beginning, using photography helped to bring youth together and engage them in conversations about their community. It also helped to connect youth with parents outside of the authoritarian role as parents to actively engage with their children in an interactive, educating experience. Awaken them to the opportunity to change things in their communities and using photography to bring awareness to things that they're concerned about and empowering them to change it. Photography has helped our children develop a greater sense of self-esteem and see themselves in a greater light because of their skill. We have future field trips planned before the end of the grant cycle. The youth are participating and seeing other artists' venues. We also have a Korean vendor in our community who has stepped up to provide soft drinks and snacks to support the youth engagement. The work of the youth in their engagement with the community has helped to restore some dignity and pride about the neighborhoods, despite all they have endured through the years. Elders see these youth as a source of promise for the community. Youth had an opportunity to witness the painting of a mural, which will be part of a movie production. One of the youth documented the process with photography over the course of the production. This was a youth who didn't even know how to turn on a camera, who ultimately created a photographic documentation of this engagement with film crews in connection to the completion of this mural. Students from Micah participated in this engagement, and they worked with the community to get their participation. Tristan was truly transformed by his experience with this program. He had a friend who spent the weekend with him, and his mom told us that Tristan woke his friend up asking him if he was going to sleep in or did he want to do something exciting. So he took his friend out that day with his camera, and Tristan inspired a friend to join the program, and they both have shared their experience within the program. I want to just say something outside of what I've written here. I'm not going to keep reading this because it's kind of boring to me for real. With these programs and with these engagements that we have with these young people and children, we have a chance to bond and to forge relationships that otherwise wouldn't be possible because we don't have a lot of time where people sit and actually just talk and listen to the young people and the children. So this has afforded us an opportunity to be able to bridge some of the gaps and to close some of the distance between us. And so we also have lunch. We sit and we have a great photography instructor, Jared is here now. And when we have lunch, that's also another opportunity where we find the impact of these programs, which have far-reaching implications within the community, and we need to continue these types of programs. And I'm sure there are others like it, but photography wasn't the only benefit to being in this program. So I'm gonna hand it over to Brother Jared now and let him give his presentation and his take.
All right. Thank you so much, Brother Kevin. It's been definitely been a pleasure to collaborate with you on this program over the past couple years. I've been working with youth and photography for about 6 years in East Baltimore, and the group of young people out on Milton Avenue are definitely extremely engaged and excited to learn as much as they can. So I want to talk a little bit about the way that we approached doing the class over the course of this year. We meet at the Milton Preston Peace Park, which is an outdoor green space in the community that is a perfect venue, sort of at an intersection or at a place where the neighborhood is sort of designed to come together. So just the fact that we are out there as a group, the people in the community look with curiosity at what are these young folks up to? And it's a great way to have serendipitous conversations and to kind of create interest in what's going on just by being in this outdoor venue and space. In addition to the approach to teaching the actual material, naturally, we're going to walk around and take pictures, but we also want to learn some of the key concepts around photography. We talked a lot about composition, color theory. We talked about exposure and the operations of a DSLR camera. So the students got a very strong foundation in learning professional tools to create images. And we try to make it fun by using games and interactive exercises for them to test their knowledge. So right now, they are playing a game called Kahoot. So there are quizzes that we designed to go over the different concepts, and each person on their phone can answer the quiz. And that's one of their favorite ways to kind of reinforce the knowledge or the information that we share. So we just set up right outside, catch some Wi-Fi and play a few games to reinforce. But then naturally, the most important part is getting out in the community and taking pictures. There were a few places within the community that were extremely useful as a study in composition. So architecture is a great way to understand how lines work, how composition and design works. So this particular church is right around the corner from the park, and they spent a lot of time really studying closely all the different shapes, lines, and everything that pulls this particular piece of architecture. So they got a chance to understand some of the historical spots within the community as well. Again, some of the oldest and more interesting structures in the community are the houses of worship. One of the favorite techniques that the students learn, and this is all student photography that you're seeing right now, they love using selective focus, where you see a clear image in front and you have a blurry background. If they could take every picture that way, they would, because they love seeing that really extreme effect and learning the techniques that with the camera in order to create it. So finding ways to bring the subject forward, that was one of their favorite things to do. Seeing the green spaces and the nature within the community, they always sought out things that had life and color. And I really enjoyed seeing what it was that happened to catch their eyes. So here's another example of selective focus in the case of a portrait with one of the students that was taken by one of their peers, and also some of the green spaces in the community that has the blurry front, focused in the middle, and then blurry in the background, which is a really tricky thing to execute, but they did a great job with that. So we talked, like, as I mentioned before, we talked a lot about color theory. So they were looking for shapes and colors and finding different ways to capture what the neighborhood looked and felt like, and things that happened to catch their eye as we walked around. Unexpected things that they hadn't noticed before when they were just walking around. But when you have a camera in your hand and you sort of get used to taking pictures, you become more aware of your surroundings. So I was always excited to see what they would find that maybe I didn't notice, and the way that transformed their relationship to their surroundings. Of course, this is a very lively neighborhood, and anytime something was happening, bikes going by, people gathering, they always wanted to capture that little bit of a slice of life. We had these, we gathered on Saturday in the early late morning, early afternoon. So it was just when people were coming up and getting alive. So they had an opportunity to just kind of see the way that people moved and interacted with space, and also learn techniques for capturing those things as well. And of course, there are some things that are sort of endemic and important pieces of the way that the community expresses their grief. And naturally, conversations about issues in the community would come up when we would see these shrines in the street, and we would hear about some of the things that happened in the neighborhood. It gave, we created space for the young people to talk about how they felt about things and the way that they saw possibilities for creating transformation. So here's a few more landscape shots. As Brother Kevin mentioned, there were several murals that got installed or painted during the course of the time that we were having our classes. So we got to witness some of the transformation of the landscape. So this is a portrait of the artist at work. And you'll notice here, there's a young man on the right photographing the artist. He's a MICA student studying photography. He's also one of my longtime students. I started working with him when he was in middle school, and now he's at MICA, and he came out to help me teach. So it's and he's excited to do it. He's excited to give back. One of the most powerful moments that we experienced was the mural. One of the murals that was painted was a memorial for someone in the community. And we had an opportunity to meet the brother of the man who was being memorialized in the mural. And he got a chance to share the story of his brother with our young people. So we saw the significance of what was being created, and we got a little piece of the history of the neighborhood through the eyes of someone who recently passed away there. So this is sort of a wide shot of the movie production mural that Brother Kevin mentioned, that is right across the street from where we gathered. This is another memorial mural that went up during the time that we were there. But the most important thing that they experienced was they had a chance to see the people in their neighborhood. And one thing changes once you start to learn how to do portraits. You start looking at people and you start appreciating people around you in a different light. So these are portraits that the young people took of just neighbors who lived on the block where we met. And of course, one of the parents, Brother Kevin mentioned, one of the parents who also participated wanted to pick up the camera as well. We wanted to make an inclusive environment and a place where people can learn and gather together and, create a new and exciting impression of it and appreciation for the neighborhood where they live. So, thank you.
All right, appreciate y'all. As a matter of fact, I think Kevin is still on mute.
Hold on.
There we go.
Can I say something before we wrap up?
Go right ahead.
All right. I kind of wanted to just expound on the fact that how refreshing and rewarding it is to interact with the young people in the community. All of our children are not social deviants, and the ones who aren't social deviants or social deviant rather don't have the venues, don't have outlets that would allow them to not get into trouble or get into gangs. All of our children are not bad. All of our children don't want to go to jail, and all of our children don't want to be uneducated or not have the opportunities afforded everyone else. Our communities, or the community we serve, of course, is starving for resources and for outlets to alleviate some of the pressures that people endure on a regular basis. And this photography has been a very refreshing and uplifting part of what goes on in our community on Saturdays. So I just want to say thank you, everybody. We really appreciate your time, and we're really grateful to be doing what we're doing.
Appreciate you, brother. So we actually got some comments in here about the photographs. First off, the photographs were beautiful. I loved it. Mary Alexander says
that's student work.
Yeah,
I mean, they really are impressive. Their eye and the way that they picked up on the techniques. They do a phenomenal job.
I'm out here with my phone using portrait mode, thinking I'm doing something. They out here really taking photographs.
They did also. The students, they also had a chance to have the cameras home over the course of the week. So I let them borrow the camera so they can practice in between sessions, and so they did get additional practice in addition to the time that we were face to face.
Got you. That's dope. Mary says same thing. Beautiful pictures. Miss Heather Pearson, inspirational. Of course, Kanika lighting up the chat. Beautiful. That's the only way to describe it, because especially with what Brother Kevin said. The assumption that young people can't and don't want to do that is just completely false. If given the tools, they will. Our young people will always produce beauty and inspiration.
Exactly. You already know. All we need is the resources.
Absolutely. So just want to make sure before we close out y'all's presentation, we get that contact info. Mr. Jared Fort, that's Forte. His email is gforte, gfort@mica.edu. And also Mr. Kevin Graham, Kevin, Conteg, Conte. I'm just spell it out. Kevin. Conte, got you.
Also Forte.
There you go.
Forte.
With the Tays, man. With the Tay brothers.
It's the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? But we got Jared Forte and Mr. Kevin Graham. Appreciate y'all, brothers, for y'all presentation tonight. We'll have y'all back up in a second.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. So we're done with the presentations for tonight, but we still want to make sure that we give us these great programs, these great folks who are working with our young people every day, an opportunity to answer some questions about their work they do every day. Because, the pandemic has really impacted all of our community, from being able to have access to opportunities on the daily basis, to make simple things like having food access, going to school, going to work, while also managing not to get sick and stay healthy. And these folks are still doing the work every day. And so when we talk about supporting our youth and young adults, part of the work at BCYF, what we're trying to accomplish is not making it theoretical. It's very real, because these are folks that have all been supported by BCYF previously, but also even still, they're still out here passionately accomplishing their work every day. And we think it's extremely important that we lift them up and throughout this pandemic, and not just outside the pandemic too. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to bring everybody on screen in a second. So if y'all have y'all cameras off and whatnot, and mic's off, just get prepared to get back on screen. I'm going to give y'all a second. But we're going to have them come back on and answer a couple questions relating to parents, students, and the larger community about the work that they do. And we have about 30, 40 minutes, so we should be able to get in some good responses from folks here tonight. If you have questions, I'll be checking the comment box. So make sure you comment in the comment section if you want to ask any questions of any of these great programs here tonight. So I'm going to bring Jared, Antonika, Kevin. Hey, Javon, you still on with us, brother? We'll bring you on in a second. Kanika. Let's see. I think we have Kim. Let's see. All right, there we go. Hopefully Javon can join us in a second. All right, y'all. So again, dope, brilliant. It's the only way to describe what y'all do. And I think it's important that folks have the opportunity to talk to y'all a little bit about working with you young people. So the first question that I have is actually about you. So for the adults on this call, I want y'all to think about something like, can you tell the listening audience something that has been dramatically shifted, like something that you thought before about Baltimore's young people that has been shifted since you actually got involved with doing the work that you're doing now, and being able to thinking about your assumptions, the work that you do with young people every day, some of the things that you've been able to shift and change in the process of doing your work. So I'm gonna let the adults hold that for a minute. But Brother Javon, I want to get you here on first, since you are a young person here tonight. I want you to talk about your experience with Project I Can and Cups. And can you tell folks, like for some of the young people who may have, who may be listening right now, why you decided to get involved with the program, and what are some of the benefits you've seen over time? Like, do you think anything would have been different for you? Do you think without Cups and the Project I Can, you think things might have been different in your life? Just tell folks who may be listening about your experience.
Basically, Project I Can, like, it's different. Like, it's you around a bunch of people that can actually care about you, fam. Like, it's just different. So, with that being said, but are you?
No, I understand. You say it's different. What makes it different to you? What do you think is different than what?
You surrounded by a bunch of people with good hearts. Like, you just surrounded by a bunch of people that care. Like, because they don't really have to do what they doing. They can really be. It could be different. Like,
Enough said. Understood, brother. Appreciate that, man. I might come back to you, so I want you to stay on if you can, man. But appreciate the words, brother. So matter of fact, so we're gonna start with you, Jared, and just kind of go stack clockwise, so that you, Antonika, Kim, and so on. To the question, assumptions, things that shifted from the work that you're doing now, like when you first started and before you got involved to now. What are some assumptions that you've seen dramatically shift about young people? Matter of fact, we have somebody here from Clayworks. I don't think we've met. How you doing?
Hi, I'm Jamie Grace. I also work at Clayworks, but I'm taking over for Nicole.
Got it. All right, so Jared, we'll start with you, brother.
So I would say I kind of accidentally started working with young people. When I came into teaching and working, I was coming in as a student in a program called Video Lab, and they were working with folks of all ages teaching video production and storytelling and things of that nature. And it was just a free workshop that was at Micah Place. And I said, well, let me go and check that out. I might be able to pick something up. And it turned out that I was a little bit advanced to what they were teaching. So I ended up first working with Video Lab, and the young people were just around. So because I didn't come in with the intention to say, okay, I'm gonna work with some young folks, I just got to know the young people and see how talented they were before I even started doing the work. So by the time I actually started running the program with middle and high school students, I already could recognize their talent. And sort of moving forward, the thing that I learned the most is just to listen to them and try to be really aware of what their gifts are, so that you can tailor your approach and offer things that can keep them engaged. So because we're an arts-based program, and it's something that they are choosing to do. It's not compulsory. They're not being made to do it. So it makes sense to listen to and respond to the talents and the interests that they have, so that you can present your program, your ideas, the things that you want to learn in terms of what they want to do. So we started out primarily with photography. We published photo books, and that's something that I'm hoping to do with Milton Avenue going forward, because the students have a huge catalog of great photos that will make a great calendar or book or something like that. So that was where we started, but we eventually moved into video, because that's the students who wanted to learn something about that. And it was just a natural progression. So really the transformation was just it was just a natural progression for me, because the relationship was there before there was even any intention to work with them. So it just kind of fell in place for me.
Appreciate that, brother. Antonika.
So for me, I lean heavily on my experience as a classroom teacher with the young people. So the children that we serve are the same children that I taught in the classroom. And actually they were my children before I had my own children. So it was me, I was able to see that the kids are hungry. You know, they just need someone to show them something different. They are like sponges. They're open to just about anything if, you know, if someone believes in them and if you have a relationship and a rapport with them. And the beauty in it was that our families, the families they buy into it as well. So when we have the children, we're not only serving the children, we're also serving the families, and it just becomes a village, truly a village around getting these kids to where they need and want to be. So pouring those resources, the fund has really been a blessing because we've been able to do a lot without a lot, and so with having the fund some of the things that we had been doing, you know, through fundraisers and our own personal efforts, that has been truly beneficial. We have seen these kids really blossom. And it's just a beautiful thing because there's a lot of amazing things, as we heard here tonight, there's a lot of amazing things happening with the children and youth of Baltimore. And it's truly unfortunate that the mainstream media does not promote and showcase all of the beautiful things that our kids are doing on a daily basis. Or a lot of times we only see the negative. So my husband and I, we're over the moon excited to be able to continue to serve the children of Baltimore in this capacity and be able to do it with the likes of the wonderful programs and community members here.
Awesome. Thank you, Antonika. Kim, how you feeling? What's your response to that question? With some things you previously held about young people, assumed about young people, and that shifted over time and through your work?
So I think most recently for us was we were really nervous about virtual learning because we know that our youth are suffering from that virtual fatigue. So, and when you are not in person and able to build like in-person relationships, it is so difficult. And so, you know, when we were figuring out our programming for virtual, we were like, all right, we have 20 minutes top before we lose them. We got to cram in all of our activities. But over time, we have found that we're able to keep them for the full time, and they are interested. You know, when we first started, because everything was starting virtual all at once, it was a lot of feedback that we received from our youth was, this is just like school. I just can't keep looking at this screen. And we were like, oh no, like we need to change our topics and everything like that. But over time, we realized that when you have a more hands-on project that you're working on, we are better able to keep their attention and keep them engaged. And over time, I was very surprised, but our attendance has not only gotten better, but it's been far more consistent into our program than it was the first couple of weeks. It was very difficult. And I think we were pleasantly surprised. We just had our last week this week with the girls, and they're already excited for February. And so we were really nervous that we were going to lose them over that holiday break, but just knowing how excited they were, and that they are going to continue to be engaged and be committed to our program, even though it's virtual, has been really just really heartwarming for us. So that in this time, I mean, again, we are a much newer program. We first started last year. So we've hit all of the road bumps you can as a new program. So just trying to modify it, but the feedback and the honest feedback that we've gotten from our youth has been incredible and very eye-opening.
Awesome. Appreciate that, Kim. So forgive me. Because of this pandemic brain, so forgive me. So remind me of your name. I'm so sorry.
I'm Jamie Grace. So I also work at Baltimore Clayworks. I can talk a little bit. I've been thinking about your question. I feel like we at Clayworks try really hard not to like project assumptions onto people, but Clay really is like a really good equalizer, and there's like a really sweet moment on a lot of our classes where people are just like reach a state of quiet where they're like focusing on their work. So it's really nice to see students engage in a way that you can really tell when they're invested. But I think that if I had to pick an assumption, it would be maybe that like Baltimore City boys would not want to engage with something like creative and artistic like Clayworks. But I think that I've seen like a lot of youth from Baltimore who are part of our classes like make really engaging and dynamic work, and certainly like have a lot to say and express creatively. And I'm so like encouraged that our programming could encourage that.
Awesome. Appreciate that. And Brother Kevin, I think you were off screen at the time, but we're talking about assumptions that we've held about young people before, and what we've learned as you've gotten involved with doing work with young people over the years. The things that have shifted for you.
All right. Well, I imagine in the early part of this particular project, I might have had a few assumptions, but they were mostly about community and residents who I assumed a lot of them wouldn't accept what was going on, because we have a lot of rebellion from adults in the hood. You know, people have a sense of entitlement, and so when you introduce something new, like when we were building the park and we were trying to clean up the community, and then we bring these kids with these cameras, and people were like, I don't want my picture taken, don't take my picture. But before it was over, they would be posing and you couldn't get them out of your face. So my point would be, so my assumption more than any was that I didn't like the fact that we stereotype our young people nowadays. Like, well, I don't know what's wrong with the children, but I think that what has happened is that we have stopped putting the work in with our children. Raising children is a job, and you go to school and some people have jobs, and when they come home and then they think that's the end of it, but there's still other work to be done if you have children. And so what happens is when we have outlets for them, we're actually helping to raise them. So we have more than a relationship involved in with these young people than we have with just having them taking pictures. And you start to learn that the assumption might be that everybody's okay, but you find out that there's so much trouble in the world and so much trouble in the mind of these young people that these are outlets that are necessary to keep them from going in a different route. And so to know or to even act, when we became stable, sort of where when people knew each week you're going to be there, it kind of gives a certain type of confidence to these children and a certain type of something that they gain from knowing that they have something to do, and they have people that are showing them some love, showing them some interest and some inspiration. So I think that I'm not really probably all off the subject of assumptions, but my point is, I guess mine was in the beginning that everybody was going to be the same way, and to find out that we need to do something to help our children who don't want to be in the other side, you know. So I'm real grateful again to be in a position to be able to do something that help and do something about it.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And Kanika Watkins, will finish with you for this first question, and we'll get to our next question in a little bit. So Kanika, what's your thoughts?
I would say that I agree with the sentiment of trying not to project like assumptions on them, on our youth. Sometimes it is hard to not do that. But I would say like an assumption that I made sometimes in the beginning of doing this is that these people they care about the coffee. Like, they're not gonna want to talk to me and tell me all their business as the youth services specialist. They're not going to want someone to be so intrusive on their life. Especially in the Black community, what happens in this house stays in this house is definitely a sentence that has been said to me over and over and over again. So just breaking down that barrier and letting them know, like, hey, I'm not here to intrude in any way that you don't want me to. Like, I'm here to meet you where you are. And that is definitely one of the lessons that I had to learn, was to meet our youth where they are. They're all on different levels, and that's okay. And I also had to learn to be teachable as well, because I do not know everything. And they have a lot of lessons to teach me. So just to teach me to, like, be humble sometimes, to slow down sometimes. I think that's one of the biggest lessons that they taught me, is to just really slow down and enjoy the moments. Because there are beautiful ones, even in all the chaos and things that are happening right now. So that's my 2 cents.
Beautifully put. Appreciate that.
Yep.
All right. So second question I have is actually about, it's the question I'm sure you all get all the time, is COVID, kids, how do you do it? Computers, Zoom. Like I think Kim said earlier, like, I got to sit at the computer. Everything's virtual now. And I know that some of y'all's program wasn't built for that. It's not built to be at a computer. And so there's a lot of parents, I'm sure, in addition to dealing with school, during the regular school hours, some people don't even think about what it takes to also keep their kids enrolled in extracurricular activities after school learning is done, after virtual learning is done. So can you talk to folks about some of the challenges you've experienced and how you've adjusted? Because I know that most of us have probably, the easy answer is, well, we figured out the online platform and we got on that joint and we made it work. We made it shake. But for your specific programs, can you talk to folks who may be unaware, like to a parent who's watching that's like, this looks great, this looks awesome, but are you telling me to stick them in front of a computer again for another 2-3 hours? And so can you just share with folks, some parents who maybe have those kinds of questions about the adjustments you've had to make and how you're still trying to keep that high quality programming going for young people? Anybody can start.
I can speak on our experience. For the most part, we have tried to, outside of our programs that were in the schools, because schools are closed, but outside, we have really tried to keep our programs still live events. Like this past summer, we ran our summer program for 5 weeks. However, we really took the numbers down. Instead of us serving the capacity that we would have normally served, we took the numbers down tremendously, took the staff up so that the ratios of staff to students would be smaller. And we also invested heavily in increasing our transportation above what we would have normally done, to allow for the social distancing, investing in all of the PPE. We did not have any incidences. We had to invest in individual, like pods, really tents is what we did for the kids, so that everybody had their own individual assigned. So we did have to invest there, which we did not plan to do initially. The adjustment was great. The program was great. The kids need the interaction with the social interaction with each other, and we know that. So we are pretty OCD about the hand washing and the social distancing and the mask and all of that stuff. But the program was great, and we're excited about having our live event with the young men this coming Saturday. Again, it's an inconvenience, so to speak, because it's not typically how we would have done things. But those are the adjustments that we invested our funds, shifted the funds so that we could continue to have safe and in-person events.
Awesome. Anybody else want to take that question about some of the challenges you've experienced and talk? And if you could talk to a parent about some of those challenges, like how would you try to get their young person enrolled, based on the current circumstances of the pandemic? But anybody can take it.
Sure, I can go. So me and Nicole both work in community arts, which really has the goal of getting Baltimore Clayworks, which is as a larger organization, more focused on like teaching artists and studio artists, or just like the development of the craft. And community arts is really focused about getting stuff out into the community. So whereas like before COVID, community would have to come to us, like we're able to now like distribute art supplies and materials like into community as a part of our grant funding. And then that stuff stays with kids. So I think that the ability to, we'll have an online class where people will have things with clay, will make what they're assigned to make, but then, to be able to keep those materials and continue working with them and have them around the house, give them to like their little sibling or make something for their mom. I think that is really like the gift of online programming in my perspective, is just that we're able to really give supplies out into the community in a way that we weren't doing before.
Yeah, Kanika, I think you were about to say something earlier. Did you want to?
Yeah. So it has definitely been a challenge for us to teach Coffeehouse through the computer. So our program, we had just trained 10 youth right before, like were just ready to open the Coffeehouse right before COVID hit, and we had to shut everything down. So that was definitely devastating to them. But at the same time, we had to like kind of think outside the box and what are things that we can do together. So we did that virtual online Zoom class. We went to the market together, and then they had a recipe. It was their responsibility to multiply. Like we taught them about multiplying recipes. So like it's 10 of y'all. We need to split this up. Y'all got $50. This is your budget. This is what y'all need. Show me what you got. Like, so, I dropped them off at the market and went on about my business. So just trying to just teach them a little bit like different life lessons. Because for us, even though like we are a coffee house, but honestly, like the coffee is last. It's more about them gaining like the real world experience, the customer interaction, things like that. So I would say for a parent, like, some of the times the virtual things is just like group therapy. Like, it's just us talking about how we're feeling. Like, things have definitely switched to more of like mental check-ins. Like, how are you just today? Did you go outside today? Did you take a shower today? So those things have become priority. And I think it's definitely important for them to make sure they're taking care of themselves during this time.
Got you. All right. So, matter of fact, we're just going to move to the last question of this evening. And so, simply put, a young person roll up on you and like, hey, I heard you got this program, but I saw the broadcast, but I need you to give me your spiel on why I should join. So somebody comes across this and you're talking to a young person, the kind of young person who sounds like they'd be ideal. That's like, oh wow, what is your pitch? What is your pitch to the young person if they're like, I did my little research, but you tell me why I should join and enroll in your program.
You're in the meeting now. Say hi. No, I'm joking, John.
Hey.
I can go ahead and answer that question. If a youth approaches us and is interested in being in our program, I would say that Cups and Project I Can is definitely a good place to start. Or if you have been in some kind of legal trouble, it's definitely a good place to start. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, which a lot of the youth are like, why are you here? What are you doing? You should be a lawyer. Just like, but half of y'all are going to need some legal advice. So it would be helpful to have somebody that's approachable, that you feel like is like, down to earth and you can talk to. I would also say that Cups and Project I Can, we really care and we're really committed to like the individual growth of all of the interns that come in through our program. So other places of employment, like they don't care if you're having a bad mental health day. They don't care if you had to take somebody to school and now you're late because you're the adult of your siblings. So I would say that it gives them a chance to have someone who really cares for them outside of the home. And at CUPS and Project I Can, it's okay for you to mess up. We expect that to happen. It's just about how you recover from those mess ups. So that's my spiel.
Okay. Sounds good. Anybody else want to take a stab at it?
I'll take a stab at it. So one of the biggest recruiting tools for me as a photographer, and people pull up on me all the time because if I'm walking around and I got my gear and I got my camera, the young people are going to ask, so what were you making a music video? What are you doing? So the door is often open. Even when we are walking around a community, if a young person sees us, the door is always open. So the biggest thing I typically do is I have an extra camera with me, and I'll just demonstrate, say, hey, take our picture real quick, and then I'll show them a setting. And then people will ask, can you take a picture of us? And then you take their picture, and then you show them what you did. So a lot of times it's, if someone pulls up, they're getting a demo, they're getting a demo, they're getting a chance to put their hands on the camera and see the difference that it is between what they typically do. And that's pretty much the way it rolls. Because you have to, with photography, you have to see it to believe it. So, once they have a chance to put their hands on the camera and see how it works and get a feel for it, then you'll know whether or not that's something that they're down to do.
Dope. That's real effective too. You hop up with the camera, like, so you trying to take these pictures or not? You trying to
you're trying to get like me. Especially if I'm fully geared out. I got the monopod, the camera, I got all that stuff.
Yes.
Then they're like, what's going on here?
My man moves it.
Exactly. And Tanika, how about you? What you got for these youth, the young adults? Oh, wait a minute. I think we got you on mute. Hold up.
A lot of love and tough love at that. It would not be a pitch. It would be an invitation for them to invest in themselves, academically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. That's what we do. We care about the whole child. We know that without an education, there are going to be certain ceilings and limitations on the things that you are able to accomplish. And so if you or your child is interested in excelling in any capacity, in any avenue, if we don't have the resource, we will find the resource, but you have to participate in your own rescue.
I want to make one comment too. I really appreciate that idea of you kind of setting a bar, So I know y'all are real big on social media from what Adam was saying. One of the more interesting recruiting tools, especially when you get back face to face, kids with phones and programming is like a huge, like you can't get them to focus. They got their phones and stuff. But we turned their phones into one of our biggest recruiting tools because we're like, all right, y'all go live.
Yeah.
Right.
And their friends are like, where y'all at?
Mm-hmm.
And before you know it, you got all the kids are the strongest recruiters. If they're having a good time, they want to have fun with their friends.
That's
they
right.
want to include other people with it. And just like Brother Kevin was talking about, one of the Tristan was like, one of his friends stayed over and said, hey man, you trying to lay here, you're gonna come outside and do something, So
he said do something fun.
Do something fun. Yeah. So it's like
he jumped straight up. He didn't even wash his face, I don't think.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is ambassadors, like a grown person, they might be a little skeptical, but if you empower the young people to include their friends and refer their friends and give them something to talk about and share, that's probably the most powerful way to build and connect. And that really does a wonder for retention as well. Because if people's friends are there, like, okay, we're going to do this together. They build community and make connections that way as well.
I want to just add something to what Jared's saying is this. I think that it takes special kinds of people. All right, it's a special vibe that connects and makes people want to be around you. And our man G is like, he has this vibe where he brings people to him, and I don't know if it's the camera, but he can say it's the camera. But you gotta have the vibe. The camera don't give off no vibe. So I think a lot of times you gotta have some of those amazing people on your team in the midst, because average people can't do this. You dig? And so I just want to say that I salute all of you because it takes special people to do this. And I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about y'all. Right?
You included.
Right. Well, you want to call with?
Since you included me, all right, cool. But no, it takes a special group to be involved, because people really don't care about each other. I think one of the biggest changes that I've seen over the last 100 years that I've been here is, and I did say 100, is that we stopped caring about ourselves. You dig? It's like we want to be like everybody else, but we stopped caring about ourselves. So once we show, and even someone at my age, these young people have a certain type of reverence when they see people like us, when they're around people like us. I don't have a criminal background. I didn't spend no time in jail. I travel all over the world. I speak foreign languages and things. So it's like you don't know that when somebody lives on Milton Avenue. So what happens is, as you gain those relationships and those bonds, you're able to express who you are. And then you're also able to find out some things about these people, and you help them to go in the direction they're trying to go. Because we have an amazing network through BCYF, and as well, like Fusion. Fusion probably has like 10,000 partners. So anything you're looking for, basically, you can find the help for. So we have young people who come to me and they'll say, Mr. Kevin, I need to do something with my life. And I say, well, which day you going to choose to save your life? And then we get started that way. So there are other programs, and a lot of times they're the group between 18 and 25. So there are various ways for us to all stay connected through the fact that we're trying to save our people. You know what I'm saying?
That's a word. That's a word. Appreciate that, Baba. All right. Well, I'll let y'all go. Be mindful of time. I know it's I had to
thank y'all.
Dinner.
Nice seeing everybody again.
Appreciate you. And
I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much.
Well. All right, G.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. All right, folks. So what else can be said? You need to check out these programs tonight. We saw 5 different brilliant programs featured here tonight. And you know what? If you happen on late, because I know it's like, 7:48, you was watching Law and Order or something, right? We're going to make sure we go back over the people who showed up here tonight and make sure that you can still reach out to them to get your young person enrolled. First, we had Baltimore Clayworks, and you can reach out to Nicole Fall, nicole.fall@baltimoreclayworks.org. Phone number is 410-215-3292. You can also reach out to Cups Coffeehouse, who they had their project I Can, focusing particularly on youth entrepreneurship. If you want to reach out to them, please hit up Miss Kanika Walker. It's KENIKA at cupscoffeehouse.org. That's her email. And also you can give her a phone call at 443-722-7267. And we had Fearlessly Loving Yourself here tonight for young girls. To get in contact with them, Kim Sauer. Phone number is 410-790-2421, or Miss Rashida Brockington at 443-845-3324. You can also email them directly at baltimore.fly@gmail.com. We have the Ryan Institute tonight, focusing on a variety of different services, particularly for academics and academic achievement for youth and young adults. If you want to reach out to them, you have Dante and Antonika Ryan. Reach out to them at their email at info@learnwithryan.com. Phone number is 443 502-0223. And lastly, we have the Milton Avenue Improvement Association. If you want to reach out to them, you have Mr. Jared Forte. That's GFORTE at mica.edu right there at the bottom of your screen. You can also reach out to Mr. Kevin Graham at Kevin. Matter of fact, let me bring Kevin back on screen. How you say it again, Kevin? Matter of fact, hold on. Let me unmute you. How you say that?
Kevin Conte.
Conte. That's Kevin, and it's spelled CONTEG.
It has
Kevin.
a hyphen in it, but you can't use a hyphen in the email address. So,
yeah. Oh, I got you. So we got him, Mr. Kevin Graham. That's Kevin, CONTEG at gmail.com. Appreciate you, brother. And so, yep. So please reach out to these programs, get your young people involved. If you want to volunteer, a lot of our organizations like these can use your support as well. Highly encourage you to reach out to them. If you are watching tonight, you want to catch the next broadcast of our community program showcase, then you can join us tomorrow night, and that is on December the 18th at 6 p.m., same time, same place, here on BCYF social media at facebook.com/BCYFund or twitter.com/BCYFund. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. We hope you have a dope evening. Stay safe and stay warm out here in the cold. All right, y'all. Peace.